Internet. You can go that way.
I can go this way?
Yes. I scooted the camera over.
I can go this way. We could technically scoot Bubbers on stream. Did you guys know that Bubbers has his own chair and he's always right here?
He's right here, but I'm wearing a white shirt today, so he's not crawling on me today.
Why don't, can he come over just to say hi, just so they can see him for a minute?
No, not on me. No? Not today. No, he'll ruin my shirt for the day.
You might end up hearing him. He has his own chair.
He likes to yell.
Happy Friday, guys. Welcome to the Friday Bean. I've already covered this topic on my channel in our Tuesday video, but I think that this is anytime that there's an update that affects the algorithm, I always want to make sure that you guys have opportunities to ask questions. Obviously, I can't provide any insider information. Everything that I provide is going to be based on information that is publicly available, as well as what we've kind of collectively interpreted on the E-Rank side. You know, me and Pam Duthie have talked about this a lot, and, you know, tried to kind of figure out how we feel about it. Same with me and Christine and Nicole. So what we're going to tell you today is obviously what we know to be factual and the context clues that, you know, we've kind of assumed that this is how things are going to work when it comes to the search visibility page. But first, I put up a poll that said, have you explored your new search visibility page yet? 61% of you said yes, 32% of you said no, and 7% of you said the what? So hopefully that 7% of you are still here, because I think that, you know, this is a pretty important topic and it's a pretty big topic, especially since it's the first significant change that Etsy has made to their algorithm, that they've been public about, at least, since they started incorporating descriptions into the algorithm, which that ended up not working the way that we thought that it did. I've got videos about that on my channel, but basically this is the first big change in like 2 years that Etsy has made. So you want to go ahead and end the poll. That way it's not taking up so much room. You just click on it and it'll expand out, and then you can, there you go.
Somebody said to Google Pookie, but everything I'm seeing on Pookie just shows that it was a term of endearment starting in like the 1960s.
Oh,
it was a term for children in Germany.
Pookie? I say Pookie. I call him Pookie. I call you guys Pookie. If it means something gross, I'm sorry. But...
However, that was Google AI, so it could be completely wrong.
Yeah. Anywho, so we'll go ahead and get started. I do have two quick announcements, actually. The first is that today, the bootcamp pricing has gone up to our general admission price. You can still get in. You're paying a little bit more. Yesterday was discount day. I advertised it everywhere. I have been advertising it for weeks. I have put it on all my social medias. I have sent multiple emails about it. I have talked about it here on my channel. I talk about it every Friday, that yesterday we were doing a big discount. And I still had somebody message me telling me what a terrible person I was because they didn't see it until afterwards.
Boo-hoo.
So. we don't have to do discounts. Like, I don't know why.
No, we don't.
But today the price is gone up to the general admission price. You're getting all the same stuff. It's $100. You guys are free to, you can go to bootcampalpha.com if you want to see what all's included. We've got tons of guest speakers this year because obviously I am going to be, going to Amplified in Latvia. So I didn't have as much time this year to do all the speaking parts. I had to recruit some experts. So hopefully you guys are impressed by the content that they've created for us. Again, go to bootcampalpha.com if you want to see what all's on, you know, the agenda, what everybody's going to be covering. Today and tomorrow, it's going to be $100. But if you wait until Sunday, it's going to be $120 because all those $20 extras all go to St. Jude. So, and then Mark and I match those donations. So again, yes, please consider checking that out if you're interested. It's a 7-day boot camp. We can answer questions on it after we've covered the topic today, if you guys have them, because there's only 3 days to register for that.
And keep up the thirst in the comment section under these videos. Last week was pretty nice.
He made
if it helps, I smell like pumpkin spice right now.
He does. Second thing is that in 3 weeks, on September 26th, I'm going to be in Riga, Latvia, speaking at Amplified by Printify, which is an event that normally costs $5 to get your community pass. However, I have a coupon code that will get you in for free. You can completely bypass the checkout system. Down below, if you expand out the video description, or if you go to printify.com/amplified, enter the coupon code AMP Starla, and you can bypass the checkout and get in for free. So please consider signing up for that. We are doing a little bit of a competition for all the speakers to see who can send the most people, and I am in the lead so far, so I appreciate everybody who has signed up for that, because they're gonna fly me business class if I win. So it's like, you guys get to sign up and you get a free event and you save $5 on it, and I might get to fly business class, which will be very nice. Plus, you guys get to watch me speak in Europe, which I've never been to Europe, so I'm excited, but link for that is down below.
Yeah, link for the boot camp is also down below
Yes.
for you, those of you asking for the link.
Yes, and Handmade Alpha Academy students, you do not need a link because you get the boot camp for free, which you should have gotten emails about.
Unless you want to buy it, that's fine too. You already have access if you're an active HAA student. So
yeah, just if you're in HAA and you haven't gotten bootcamp access, drop Mark an email at support@handmadealphaacademy.com. All right, are we good to get on to the topic? The topic at hand? Yes? Yes? Will you quit screen? Share my screen. What's wrong with you? All right, so Etsy's new search visibility page. This is the article that you guys probably got via email. Hopefully you've had a chance to look over everything, but if not, we will go over most of it together. Basically, there are 3 areas that are going to impact our shop's visibility and search and our search ranking. The first factor is our shop itself. This is overall shop completion and things. They said, for example, your shop should have a shop icon. So this is your actual square shop, like where your logo goes on the left-hand side of your Etsy shop, because this is the image that they'll see on both mobile and desktop. So you want to make sure that you have that. These are factors that have always impacted our visibility and search. Etsy is just now becoming a little bit more transparent about these factors.
to me,
Sure.
there we go.
Cool.
Now they can actually see what you're reading.
Next is customer service. Again, these are factors that have always played a role. A lot of people think that these are all changes. They're not. These are just things that Etsy's becoming more transparent about, things that impact our search ranking. Now, yes.
Did you get a political ad on our video? Because if that's the case, I want to get with YouTube and make sure that doesn't happen, because we don't endorse either political party.
Yeah,
I want to make sure that's not happening.
I thought they were targeted based on viewers.
Usually they're targeted ads, but you should have the ability to not have political ads.
Anyway. Okay, so with customer service, there's like a middle ground here, okay? Think of it like a pyramid. At the very top of the pyramid, like if you are the greatest of the great, you are doing above and beyond, you get star seller badge, right? But you do not have to have star seller badge to meet the customer service standards and rank in search. This is a big misconception. People have been freaking out about it. Etsy specifically said that you don't have to have star seller in order to rank in search. So you've got star seller as, you know, the above and beyond people. Then you have the ones that are meeting the customer service standards. You're still ranking in search and you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. And then obviously there are the people who are not meeting the customer service standards, and those are the ones who might be having a negative impact to their search ranking, okay? So these factors, remember, these are lower than star seller thresholds, okay? Average review rating, so star ratings of 4 or 5 help to attract new buyers. I love this because I have a lot of people who say like, oh, you know, somebody left a 4-star review, it's going to hurt my shop. 4-star reviews are still good reviews in the eyes of Etsy, okay? So your average review rating, that needs to be good. It needs to be 4.8, I believe. We'll look more at this customer service standards page here in just a few minutes. Message response rates. You need to respond to customers within 48 hours. The first message, not the subsequent messages unless they are in a new thread, but the first message of a conversation in order to meet the customer service standards needs to be 48 hours. Obviously for star seller, it's 24 hours. Case rates. These are when someone files a case against your shop and it results in a refund, and that refund comes out of your payment account, this will impact your shop negatively, not the ones that are covered by purchase protection. So if a customer goes through and it's covered by purchase protection, which will, cover orders up to $250, just make sure you read through all the purchase protection criteria, because I cannot remember them all offhand other than the $250. If it's covered by purchase protection, it's not going to hurt you. But if you have a case opened against you and the money comes out of your payment account, that rate of cases will negatively impact your customer and marketplace experience score, which always been the case. Again, Etsy's just being more transparent about these things that are going to impact our search ranking. And then on-time shipping and tracking. Shipping your orders on time helps give buyers peace of mind so that they know when to expect their orders. While this doesn't currently affect how your shop shows up in search, it's an important component of the customer experience and part of our seller service standards within Etsy seller policies. So making sure that you are providing that on-time shipping and tracking, this can negatively impact your shop if it results in a refund, if it results in a case against you, if it results in a bad review, then obviously it can impact you. So next is your actual listings themselves. This is where there's been a lot of confusion because Etsy says each of your listings should include multiple high quality photos. Now, my question when I first saw this was, what the heck does multiple mean? Is multiple 2? Is multiple making sure you have all 10? What does multiple mean? Well, if you scroll down to this Q&A portion, they kind of answer it here. What if I don't have any reviews yet? Does this impact my new listings visibility in Etsy search? They say new listings will still be shown in search even if they don't have any reviews or ratings yet, as long as they don't have any other listing or shop quality issues. For example, if a new listing is missing photos or a return policy, search visibility might be impacted immediately. Now, there was an article, and thankfully someone did find it. I should have grabbed it because it's linked in the video that I did Tuesday. Basically, Pam Duthie and I recall Josh Silverman, Etsy CEO, stating that a listing is considered complete when it has at least 5 images. So this is what I'm personally going by. And then the person was, Pam and I were not able to actually figure out where we saw that, but then someone was able to find the article for us. I should have grabbed it, but it is linked somewhere in the comments of that video. Basically, Josh has stated in the past that a listing is considered complete when there are 5 images. Etsy is saying that you should have multiple high quality images. Pam, I believe, has heard from, Pam, are you here? Pam has heard from Etsy that you just need to have more than 1. To be safe, I'm going to say 5. If Josh has said that 5 is what Etsy considers a complete listing, I would try to do 5. And if you can't do 5 of your product, try to get some info cards in there. Try to, anything that's important from your description could be on an image, care instructions, shipping times, your holiday shipping cutoff dates. That could be an image all on its own. Sizing charts. There's so many different ways to photograph your products. And if you need help with that, make sure that you also go over to Christina Nicole's channel. It's by Christina with a K, Nicole, and watch some of her videos because she teaches you amazing strategies to take photos of your products using your smartphone. But I'm just going to say 5 because if we've heard it referenced in the past, that is likely what Etsy wants. Now, this is another one that I've seen a lot of confusion about. Your listing should also include a return policy. Now, this does not mean that you need to accept returns. You don't have to offer returns or exchanges. When you're filling out your listings, down at the very bottom of each of your listings, you have the option to select whether or not you accept returns. Now, if you're shipping to the EU, you legally have to offer a 14-day return or refund window. You don't have a choice. It is EU law. You have to, unless that item is digital. personalized specifically for that customer. That's not POD. I know that you're printing it for the person and shipping it to them, but
that doesn't count.
It doesn't count, unfortunately. It's got to come out of your pocket. But remember, it's tax deductible. If it's customized for that person, like with their name though, or like their wedding date, that's different. And perishable items. So if you're selling food, for example, then you are exempt. But you have to have that return policy on each of your listings, whether or not you accept returns. And that is going to impact your search visibility. And then this is another one of the big ones. When determining how listings show up in search, we'll also consider shipping prices as an overall factor for U.S. sellers. So everybody in the U.S., listen up. We'll soon be updating on October 1st how shipping price is factored into search ranking for U.S. domestic listings. So shipping in the U.S., within the U.S., to help make sure that our high shipping prices don't discourage buyers from making a purchase. Our data tells us that once shipping prices are above $6 or are $6 or above, buyers are less likely to make a purchase. So starting October 1st, U.S. listings with domestic shipping prices lower than $6 will be prioritized. This is going to exclude digital items, obviously, because you're not shipping anything. It's going to exclude items that have calculated shipping setup, items that U.S. sellers are shipping outside of the U.S. and other countries. So when I first saw this, because there is another article here called "We're Updating How Shipping Price is Factored into Search for U.S. Domestic Listings." You can go through if you want to look at this article. It's a separate article, and it's got a little bit of the data behind why they've chosen to do this. They also have a new tool that will help you to decide how to price your items in order to basically factor your shipping cost in. What we've done in our shop, because there are some listings that we didn't need to touch, like our stickers all shipped under $6. But for the listings that we needed to ship under $6, what we personally did was we set the shipping at $5. And then we absorbed the remaining cost into the product cost so that it wasn't a dramatic increase in the product cost. And simultaneously, we lowered the shipping cost to $5. We could have done $6. We chose to do $5 just because I think that it just looked prettier. We're just, it was just a personal preference. There's no science or methodology behind it. It was just a decision that Michelle and I made. But this is the best way to do it. I've heard a lot of people saying, so I should just eat the shipping cost? No, do not eat the shipping cost. Do not lose money over this. Make sure that you are still incorporating in what it's going to cost you to ship that item, whether you are absorbing the full thing into your overall item costs and offering free shipping, which, that obviously that would be helpful, or making your shipping $5 to $6 and then absorbing just a little bit of that shipping cost into your listing, which is ultimately what we decided to do. So I do want to show you, I've got a couple screenshots here. This was from our customer service stats dashboard. This was from a couple days ago. That basically shows what your new customer service dashboard looks like. It is now on the left navigation of your Etsy shop, and it is going to show you things like your message response rate, so how well you're meeting those, your average review rating, your on-time shipping and tracking, and cases. It's also going to show you comparatively what these look like for, the service standard and star seller. So for example, the service standard is reply to 80% of first messages within 24 to 48 hours. But for star seller, it's reply to 95 of first messages within 24 hours. For average review rating, no more than 4 reviews have a rating of 3 or lower. And for star seller, it's a 4.8 or higher. On-time shipping and tracking. This is service standard beta, so I assume that they're still trying to decide how this is going to factor in, since right now it's not factoring in algorithmically. But at least 80% of orders ship on time, And then for Star Seller, 95% of orders ship on time with tracking. Cases, service standard, no more than 3 orders had cases refunded from your payment account, which honestly, you know, cases are different than just issuing standard refunds.
Yeah, they're not the same.
Yeah. I had somebody email me that said that they feel like their rank has dropped because they issued a refund themselves out of their own money, but that has not been mentioned anywhere. So I would be curious to know, like, see how you came to that assessment. Or if it's just, you know, you feel like you're not getting as many sales as usual. You know, apple plus banana doesn't necessarily equal orange. So
not always.
And then to be eligible for Star Seller, you need to meet the standard for case rate. So let's see. That's my thumbnail.
What are you doing?
Trying to go to the next image.
Oh.
Okay. So this is what your dashboard now looks like. You have 2 new tabs, Etsy search visibility and customer service stats. This is the customer service stats page. You got this little animated thing that will like move. It's pretty cool. This is the other one, your Etsy search visibility. Now, I had to take a screenshot of this before we resolved everything because right now it says that, you know, we're all on track. Hopefully all of your listings say, you know, you're all on track. You don't need to do anything. Michelle already went in and fixed it, but I took a screenshot beforehand so that I could show it to you guys. So for ours, a lot of our listings prices for shipping were over $6. So I grabbed this screenshot before we fixed them. It said, you know, it's got this little exclamation point. So if you have any issues with your shop, these are going to pop up. Offer buyer-friendly U.S. shipping prices. 52 listings have higher than average shipping prices. Consider lowering it to under $6. This won't impact your search visibility until October 1st. So you guys have a month to figure this out. I would get it fixed as soon as possible. And then you can click update prices. So this is what it looked like. I should throw out the disclaimer that we are officially licensed by both Jennifer Armentrout and Sarah Moz, which is why you're seeing our bookish products. But all of our listings on the back end, when we sorted, because now in your actual like shop sections on the right side of your listings, you actually have the ability now to sort by search visibility factors. And when you sort by those, it will pop up with all the ways to improve. Then you can hover your mouse over top and it says this improvement can help your search visibility, offer buyer-friendly U.S. shipping prices, which we did. And now our shop says that we are good to go and we have no issues. So this is one part of it. The other part now is you can go ahead and stop sharing for a minute.
Okay.
And can you pop up Canva for me while we're doing this? The other thing that is now impacting our listings is we have some notices talking about photos. Christina, if you're here, I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to steal the slides that you made because they are very nice. Let's see. Christina did all the hard work for us. And
you guys are upset. Remember, there's a survey for these things.
There is a survey, I believe. I think there is. All right. You may.
I may.
You may. Okay, so you might have notices in your shop now that have mentions of photos. Again, these are not new things that are impacting us in search. These are likely things that have been impacting us all along that we just didn't know about. So for all of you who have said, man, I cannot rank higher in search. My SEO is just not working. These could have been the issues all along. It could have been this stuff. And now Etsy is telling us that these are the things that we need to fix. Now, I want to give a big, huge disclaimer before we go over this list. If you have items in your shop that are currently selling and they're selling well, and you are getting notices about your images, don't change them. Because the number one factor that helps your listings rank in search is sales, because you're making money and Etsy's making money. That is the number one factor that is going to help your listing quality score. And positive reviews after people have purchased those items. So if you have an item that's coming up and Etsy is saying, oh, this is a collage photo, you know, we recommend not using collage photos, or, oh, this is your photo's too dark. We recommend, you know, using brighter images, but it's a best-selling item and it's doing really well and it's the aesthetic of your shop and you're making sales on it, you are likely ranking regardless of these suggestions. Keep in mind, these are just suggestions, okay? Don't rush to change anything unless you notice a dramatic decrease in your search visibility. And, you know, obviously keep an eye on things, but if you notice a dramatic drop, that would be when you want to make some changes.
Don't change all of your listings at once.
Yes, that too.
What.
That too. Always make slow changes. That way you can monitor how those changes affect your listing. So disregard all of this if you have bestsellers, unless you notice a freakish drop, okay? This is where everybody is panicking, and we don't need to panic. Okay, so the first one is you might see notices for uploading higher resolution photos. Now, I'll be honest, this one, if you've got bestsellers in your shop, but your photos are just like really low resolution, I might recommend changing those, only because you can only do better if the photo is higher quality. You know what I mean? Like if the photo is blurry and your resolution is bad, we want to have crisp photos that are at least 200 pixels wide. That's what Etsy tells us.
2000.
Or 2000.
Say that's 360p, bro.
Yeah, 200 is very tiny. 2000
is nearly 4K, just below.
Yeah. So this is one that, you know, it's probably good practice to make sure you have high resolution photos of your product regardless. It's one of the things that Mark and I critique when we do our critique sessions. Your photos should be crisp. So I will nitpick on this one if I'm looking at your guys' shops and your photos are blurry.
Any picture is better than no picture.
That's true.
But if you can get, I mean, there isn't a phone in the last like 5 years below like a budget phone that takes anything less than a 4K photo. So if you need one, maybe now's the time to upgrade to a newer phone.
Yeah. All right. So you might see these notices. If you don't see these notices, then you're fine. Next one is collage photos. This is one where if you've got a bestseller and it's doing fine with the photo that you have, don't touch it. Because like I said, sales and reviews are the #1 factor that are going to dictate your rank. You don't need to change listings that are selling well. These are just suggestions. So these are, you know, we see this front and back of a shirt. I have listings in my shop that show front and back of the t-shirts, and I haven't been hit for saying it's a collage. They haven't said that mine's a collage, so I don't even know how they're seeing this stuff. We have Nicole's.
They're probably more referencing people who have like an item with like 50 different colors, and instead of one big picture, it's just like 50 minuscule little squares on a page.
Right.
Because they're trying to push, at the end of the day, they've been trying to push their mobile app forward as the primary platform they want people to shop on, and you can't see anything in a collage on a mobile phone.
Yeah, because it's tiny. That's really it. It says one listing has a collage as the main photo, which may be hard to see in search because they're considering mobile shoppers. But again, you know, like these, with the yarn, these are just colors. These are just, you know, example colors. It's not a collage. And we got to remember that this is just a dumb algorithm. It's just trying to interpret what it's seeing. It's not understanding. So don't change anything that's doing well. If you're getting these risk factors, you know, and you want to change your photo, maybe you've just decided, it's time for a change. You totally can, but don't panic about it unless that listing just dramatically loses all traffic, or if it's not selling at all. If you've got listings that nobody's paying attention to, then maybe that would be a reason to go ahead and make those changes. Here's a couple more examples of what it looks like. All right, not enough photos. One listing has one photo. Adding more photos or a video helps build confidence with buyers. That is a factual statement. We want to try to keep our buyers on our listings for as long as possible. And the more photos and a video that you have within your listings, the more time that they're going to spend pondering that purchase and exploring that listing. If you've got one photo, they're going to glance at that item and potentially leave because they are not getting all the necessary information in order to make that purchase. So you want to make sure that you have multiple photos. Like we said previously, Josh has said in the past that 5 photos is considered a complete listing. I would aim for 5. So this says not enough photos. We want to make sure that we're trying to get as many photos as we possibly can. Ideally 10 if you can, but 5 at a minimum. This is another example of one that I don't think that you should change in the event that you see this notice on a listing that is selling well. If you've got a listing that isn't selling at all, well, this might be a good indication that customers aren't understanding what they're seeing. But for example, products that light up, products that glow in the dark, you can see these awesome Throne of Glass in Crescent City, officially licensed shadow boxes. These are products that are meant to light up. So having a dark photo makes sense for these, right?
Mm-hmm.
This image could probably be brightened up though. So again, use your best judgment here. If you have dark and moody photos because you're a gothy, moody shop, it might be worth ignoring these notices. If your products are selling, it might be worth ignoring these notices.
They're just trying to help. I mean, really, at the end of the day, that's what they're trying to give you advice.
Exactly. And again, it's just an algorithm. It's just trying to figure out, what your item is based on the photos that you've presented. If you don't have any sales at all of your items and, it isn't something like this where the purpose of the item is that it lights up, then it might be worth experimenting with. But if you've got an item that's selling well, don't change it. And then the shipping over $6, which I think that we've already pretty much covered. So that's it, guys. That is all the factors that could potentially be impacting your rank in search. Again, just the key points here are that other than the $6 shipping, the visibility factors are things that have always had an impact. If you're seeing all these visibility factors in your shop, and you're seeing, a bunch of notices and you feel like your sales have been crappy and your traffic has been crappy, okay, it might be worth paying attention to these things, because if these are things that are impacting your search visibility and we're just now learning about them, that's Etsy giving us a heads up that, hey, we're being more transparent. These are the things that, could have been impacting the way that people see your products in search. Maybe you might want to change these things.
You guys are going to get some questions in, by the way. They don't have to be relevant to the topic at hand.
If you have Bootcamp questions as well, this would be a good time
we'll prioritize those.
Yeah, this would be a good time to ask them. But, these are things that have always impacted us. The $6 shipping, again, it really sucks. It really sucks for those of you who sell like big stuff, like, coffee tables and things. But the thing is, it's not just impacting you. It's impacting everybody. It's everybody on Etsy. So if, you're worried about how you're going to be pricing next to your competitors are going to have to do the same thing. And if they don't, they're going to fall down in search pages regardless, because they're not going to be ranking as high. So, it's not just Etsy attacking you specifically. It's a widespread thing that's going to affect everyone.
Holy McMoly, there's almost 500 of you here.
Yeah.
Make sure to give this video a thumbs up.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Well, while we're waiting on questions, just 2 quick reminders while you guys are getting those in. The Alpha Holiday Bootcamp, you've got today and tomorrow if you want to register at $100, because on Sunday that price is going to be going up to $120. Sunday is the last day to register for it. And the $20 extra per person will be going to St. Jude. And then Mark and I will be matching donations probably the following Friday for that Friday bean. So please consider checking that out by going to bootcampalpha.com if you're interested. We've got Christina Nicole speaking, Hannah Gardner. We have Dave from Add to Cart. We have Mandy from Simply POD with Mandy. We have Angel from Passive Income Angel. I think that's it. And we have me. So consider checking that out if you're interested. And I'm going to be speaking in Riga, Latvia at Amplified, which is an online virtual event that you guys can sign up for free using my coupon code. Normally you would pay $5 to get the community pass, which is what you want because it gives you access to like the giveaways and the live chat. And you get there's going to be a Discord where everybody can hang out. Anyway, if you want to access all the good stuff, go to printify.com/amplified or click the link down in the video description and enter coupon code AMP Starla at checkout, and that will bypass the checkout system and you won't have to enter your credit card. AMP Starla. And that'll be September 26th.
Yeah, register even if you're not going to attend. She gets better plane tickets.
Yeah.
She does the most.
You should attend, though.
You should attend.
You should attend.
But I'm here for her comfort. because I don't get to go.
Yes.
I wasn't even mentioned in the emails, by the way.
Aw, it's okay, Mr.
It's
Moore.
okay. I did enough presenting in the military. I don't want to do it anymore anyway. Okay, question started like down here.
Okay.
Okay.
Is the boot camp 1K? No, it's $100.
It's $100 today and tomorrow. Sunday, it'll be $120. I wonder how to upload a bundle of 4 wall art if a collage is not allowed. It's not that they're not allowed. They're just trying to push you to not do it.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's almost always on first page those stores with tiny collages that sell 1,000 wall arts for $2.50.
Yep, Laura, I think we
surveys are there.
I think I kind of covered that, Laura. If the item is selling, the sales are the #1 ranking factor. And that's going to, that's going to be more important to Etsy than collage photos. If you are selling 4 pieces of wall art that need to be bundled together, these are just suggestions. They're just suggestions, so if you absolutely have no way to photograph 4 pieces of wall art, and if your sales are not impacted and you're still making sales, you don't have to take these suggestions.
Can you recommend a channel or coach that can help with production? My shop has been taking off, but my items take time to make. What do you mean? Do you mean producing the products themselves? I guess it would depend on what kind of products you make.
Right. Are you wanting to manufacture, or are you wanting to work on your own production? I don't have an answer for you, unfortunately. It might just be time for you to hire a couple shop assistants. I mean, you could always start with, family members who might be interested in helping you out. I unfortunately don't have anybody in mind, but scalability is important. So if you've reached that point, congratulations. I would start trying to recruit people to help you make your products.
Once you make changes, how long before you may see a change in visibility?
Well, this hasn't hit our, okay. The $6 thing won't impact our visibility until October 6th. The images, those are just factors that may be impacting your visibility based on how shoppers interact with those items is how I'm interpreting it. Because positive interactions is what helps our listing quality score. So my interpretation is that if you have a dark photo, customers might not like it and they might not be clicking on it. And that is what ultimately is leading those listings to not get as much visibility in search. Whereas, if the customer clearly understands what they're seeing and they're clicking that item and hopefully purchasing it, that is the factor that's actually leading to that listing ranking higher in search, which is why I said that if the item is selling anyway, that's going to be more important to Etsy than whether the listing photos are darker. So how long it's going to take, I think that's just going to depend on how quickly customers start interacting with that listing. And, just because you change your photo to a lighter photo, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that your visibility is going to go up. It's going to be about the quality of the photo and how customers interact with that photo and how in demand the product itself is. So there's a lot of things, unfortunately, that will play into that.
Ditson said they're like minions. We've had the discussion before about starting a commune out in the central U.S.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do
dominate the Etsy market. We'll have
buy a bunch of little houses.
Yeah, have a few people farm, raise animals, and grow vegetables, and then the rest of you can sit in the huts and make products that we'll sell on Etsy.
This sounds more like a cult, Mr.
No, it's a commune.
Oh,
it's a commune.
Oh, okay.
I will be the grand poobah.
That sounds like a cult leader, Mr. Moore.
Sounds like a cult leader. Just wait till you hear about the outfits. Nike's going to sponsor it.
No, Mr. Moore.
Just like the last one that went up to space.
Oh, too soon, Mr. Moore.
It happened in like the 90s.
Too soon. Thought it was the 80s.
Probably the 80s.
Was that the 80s or the 90s? It was the 80s. Was it the 80s or let us know. Anyway.
I'm a potter. Do we need to raise our prices, then do free shipping? It's so tough to sell a large bowl with no shipping. It would be anywhere from $15 to $35. Dude, we hear you. Fill out that survey. The $6 thing is wild considering USPS prices for, a lot of the POD stuff alone, the minimum is like $6 to $8. So most people can't even fit into that.
Yeah. Like I said, there's 2 ways to go about it. You could either offer free shipping and absorb the entire cost into your item price, or you can do what we did, offer $5 or $6 shipping and then just absorb some of the cost into your item price. That way your item price isn't going up that much. but then, you know, you're still charging for shipping. That's what we chose to do. Just so we didn't have to completely like inflate our item price to accommodate it, just so that we have, you know, free shipping. Because we agree, it's kind of crappy.
Always calculated shipping and will continue. Please enlighten me as to how I might add my own shipping price rather than using calculated. Just curious.
Calculated shipping, you typically would use if that shipping price is going to change drastically depending. Okay, so like an example of calculated shipping to me would be if you sell heavy candles, for example, because obviously every time you add a candle to the box, that box gets heavier and heavier and heavier, even if the box itself, the size isn't necessarily changing. It really just depends. For example, if you're in the US and you're using flat rate boxes, those are always going to be about the same price. And if you know that you're going to be able to fit multiple items within a flat rate box and you can stuff that sucker full, you're going to be able to charge the same basic price. What I always did when I shipped jewelry was if I had a question about shipping, I would take my package on a day when the post office isn't busy, like don't hit them like right before the holidays. Take your item all boxed up, ready to go. Take it to the post office, have them weigh it, and have them tell you how much it'll cost to ship it. That to me, I mean, you can always buy your own scales. I've never wanted to do all that. I have just always thought it was easier to go into the post office. They're very nice if you're nice to them. And then I'm able to more appropriately charge for my shipping. So it really just depends on what you sell, how much it weighs, how you package it. If you tend to get a lot of orders that, you know, are heavy and bundled together where the overall box is getting heavier each time. That's how I personally interpret it. But I've never used calculated shipping. So maybe somebody in the chat would have better guidance there.
I have some of my designs on POD. Does the shipping price only count for shipping from within the US? I'm located in Canada, but my POD provider is in the US. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head.
Okay, so your shipping provider is in the US, but you are in Canada, which means your shop is should be based in Canada. By the way, if you're a POD seller, just because your print provider is in a different country, you still have to list your location as the location of your shop. A lot of people don't know that. And it's going to be based on your shop location. So even if it's shipping in the US, you probably would still be qualifying as a Canadian seller. That's how I understand it. This is me making a wild guess. If I were you, I would drop a message to Etsy support just to see, because they have been doing a decent job of clarifying things. Pam actually was in a chat with them about, you know, some of these things, and they do seem to have like a script that they're meant to stick to. So I would consider reaching out to Etsy support and just see if you get some further clarification, because they haven't acknowledged that at all within their, you know, within the articles that they've posted about the update.
Do people take Christmas/holiday photos for their listings, and then if they don't sell, replace those photos with regular ones? You can.
You can. Christina and Nicole and I have been talking about this a lot lately. I always added some holiday flair to my photos. She considers it just busy work, which it is. It definitely is busy work. I think, you know, for me, when I sold jewelry specifically, I did it a lot because I knew because my jewelry was so popular, everything sold out. So when I launched new products, I knew I wasn't going to have to reshoot those photos because I was just going to sell out anyway. I did it because I wanted to, but it's not a requirement. So if you want to, you totally can. Just know that you don't have to, because it is time consuming.
Do we think the new search visibility rating is going to boost views, or is it more that will prevent us from losing views if we didn't do it?
It's always impacted us. It's not a new, aside from the $6 shipping, these are factors that have always impacted us. Etsy's just now being transparent about it. So nothing's going to drop. They didn't do this and now everybody's views are dropping. In fact, I've had a lot of people that have said like, oh, ever since Etsy made these changes, my views have suffered. I'm like, well, they didn't change anything. They're just telling us about something that's always been a factor.
They're not great at it, but just remember that everything Etsy is doing is attempting to put listings that they believe will sell faster in front of customers who will buy them faster. That is the whole point of Etsy. Etsy is not trying to hurt or probably help really anyone. They're working on the listings specifically so they can get it in front of people who might actually want those listings. That's their job. That's how they make money. Where can we voice our opinion on the soon-to-be updates for Etsy?
I think, can I see the screen? You don't have to screen share it. I just want to double check and see if there's a survey link at the bottom of this article. They usually do include.
Here.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. If somebody has the... Stop. If somebody has,
right here.
Right here.
Yes. Okay. Let us know here. And then pop that into the chat for them.
The survey IDs are unique, so I can't do that.
I'm not logged in.
But it will create a new one every time, so I'm just going to share the page. I will share this page and show them where to do it.
Yeah, screen share it.
Okay. So on the page that we're on, and I am about to share the link in the chat. You don't need to ask for it. There's a section called What's Next. You can just search for it. It's about halfway down the page. It says, let us know here. You can click that, and there you go. That'll be your survey.
Okay, he will put that in the chat for you guys. And they do look at these surveys. There's a lot of things that we have undone at Etsy, like ODR. Do you guys remember ODR in 2019? Oh my God, ODR, order dissatisfaction rate. If customers were unsatisfied with their purchases and you got so many bad reviews, Etsy would just shut your shop down. But it was like it was like a really low threshold. It was scary because we can't. Some customers just suck. We all know that. Some customers leave a bad review because, you know, they didn't read something.
Should the daily metric that you should focus on daily is visit/views, not the amount of sales each day, is whether or not you're doing good as a new store. So should you focus on views or sales?
I think that it just depends. This is one of those questions where the mark of an expert is someone who doesn't have an answer to the question because there's just too many factors that would contribute to that answer. Seasonality contributes. If you're selling Christmas items and it's, you know, March, you're probably not going to have a lot of views. Views in January tend to be not that great. For me personally, when I list something new, this is how I make a decision on what to do with a listing. If I list something new and in the 4-month period before it will renew and I'll pay 20 cents again, there's a 4-month window. If it doesn't sell, it'll sit for 4 months and then it'll renew or it'll move into my inactive listings. If that listing is sitting for that 4-month period and it's not getting any views, that tells me that there might be an issue with my SEO. And after that 4-month period is up, that's when I consider making a change to the SEO. If that listing has been sitting for that 4 months and it's getting views, but no sales, that tells me that maybe there's a different issue. Maybe it's the photos, maybe it's the pricing, maybe people just don't want that item. Maybe I need to swap out the thumbnail. And that's when I start tinkering with other things. So that's just how I do it, but I'm also doing so with the knowledge of the seasonality of my product. I usually check eRank to see when certain keywords are most popular for the products that we sell, which are, you know, book-themed, bookish merch. We're officially licensed by several authors. And at different times of year, these books become popular. And fall for us and you know, November leading up to the holidays are really popular for us because people are inside and, you know, they're staying warm and cozy and they're reading books. So our merch sales tend to go up. Our sales have been, you know, really good lately because of that. So yeah, it all just depends.
This guy always looks pissed off.
Aww.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Does my aggressive, manly German face with my down facing eyebrows and actual face structure intimidate you?
Why
I don't know why people think I'm mad. I'm literally almost never mad.
Why do you gotta come in the chat and say things that aren't nice? You know, why do people gotta do that? There's no reason.
Also not the audience to do this in front of, honey.
No, it's just I don't care. It's just not a nice thing to do. It's a judgmental and crappy thing to do.
Evaluate yourself.
Right. He's such a happy, wonderful, loving person. He's got his cat beside him, Like, don't come into my chat and
Right.
be rude.
I tend to garden
Go
and
away.
act like a hippie all day.
He gardens all day. That's the only thing he does. He was in the military for 6 years. He's allowed to look like he
Look, see that?
he's allowed to have big
See that?
eyebrows.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
Uh,
Go away. Go find somebody else to
right.
watch.
Take your judgmental self somewhere else. Marc is planning a wild party while Starla's gone. See, here's the thing about that. We're going to be raving for 4 days straight, like 16 hours a day, all but the day before she leaves. So I will be absolutely partied out.
Yeah. He's going to be napping.
All right, let's not attack her. It's okay. She don't know.
Well, she said always. That's
Always. I'm not always. Sometimes I'm angry.
Here's the thing, guys. We're here every Friday, whether we're having a good day or a bad day. Marc's having a great day, though. We've had a good day, but we're here when we're sick. We're here when we have good days. We're here when we have bad days.
It's just what I look like. It's resting asshole face.
Like,
it's just what it is.
He can't control what his face looks like. He's got big eyebrows. Big eyebrows. Look, our daughter.
Look how far my brow structure sticks out, dude. That's just, I look angry.
Our daughter, when she was, I got to show you guys a picture of our daughter when she was little one time. Sometime. When she was little
She was little one.
She was little one. No, she was the angriest looking baby because she has his brow structure. And when she smiles, she always looks like this. And she always looks so mad.
Okay. Again, I really genuinely don't care.
I know you don't, but I love you.
First time getting to watch a live. Does changing pricing affect the algorithm that you know of?
It does not at all.
No, however, if you're charging too little or too much,
that
could cause damage as well. Top price in the top 10% of your industry for the products that you're selling.
Yeah, obviously your products, if you price out the wazoo and customers aren't positively engaging or interacting with your listings, then, that can impact, because obviously Etsy wants to see people who, they want to see listings that are getting positive interactions. So if you price way too much, people aren't going to interact with that listing, and that, as a consequence, can drop your listing in search.
If you have a product with a bunch of variants that exceed Etsy's 70 variant limit, good God, what are you selling? We go about selling those items on Etsy. Create a custom form.
Ooh, man.
Is there no way for you to split those up in any way, shape, or form? Like, is it the same product with actually 70 different variants?
First of all, Fatty Pancake.
That's not an insult. That's their name.
That's their shop name, because I love the bearded dragon. This bearded dragons are Fatty Pancakes. If you've never seen a bearded dragon, look up a picture. They're Fatty Pancakes. But I'm trying to think what item do you have that you're offering 70 variants of? I would start by reading the book, The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz, and ask yourself if you really need to offer 70 variants, because choice overload tends to result in someone not making a choice at all. Limiting choices, I know it feels like you're doing a service by offering as many choices as possible, but limiting choices is actually going to result in better conversions, because the obvious choice becomes more obvious, especially when you as the expert are predetermining what the options are. For example, for our POD shirts, we usually only offer like 3 colors. And they're based on, whatever color is trendy for our industry. I'll go through like Book Talk and go through, the TikTok thread of all the bookish influencers, and I'll pick the top t-shirt colors that I see them all wearing, like that mauve color that's really popular right now. So we just released a shirt in mauve, and we didn't give any other options, even though I had the ability to. So I think it just depends on your items. If there's any way to split it up, I would, but that's a lot of choices, and it could really end up impacting you in the long run.
I agree. They said, I have 15 different colors, 2 layers of ply that get any choice of color. Yeah, that's a lot. If you have like a primary color, you could have just the 15 primary colors, and then require the customizations.
They can type in, you can add the customization box where they type it in, but then you have to have the confidence that those
people
customers
suck though, and
right?
they won't.
Right. You're going to get a lot of orders from people who didn't read, and then you're going to message them and say, "Hey, you didn't customize this. I need to know how to make your order." And then they're never going to reply, and then you're going to have to refund them. I mean, you can, if you want to try to get them to fill it out in the little customization box and not count it as a variant, but you won't be able to offer it as a paid variant. You're going to have to 100% rely on them either getting back with you or filling out that personalization box.
Yeah, you could, I mean, honestly, if you think you're going to have color combinations that are going to be the most loved, you could do those 15 color combinations and put in another slide that says, if you would like a different color combination, you can do custom here for no additional charge. Comment in the personalization box.
Yeah, and then you can communicate back and forth with them about that purchase.
Or you could charge another $20-25 for a personalization for something.
That's true.
Different. There's always ways to min-max your
yeah, because
you don't have to. If that feels scummy to you, again, you don't have to do it. It's your business. I was a bit late because of a meeting. Was there anything on the new dash thingy that lets us know our actual score or ranking for various listings?
No, that was a big thing that a lot of people said a couple months ago, where they said, Etsy's going to tell us our listing quality scores.
Yeah, another YouTuber said that, and it ended up not being true.
Yeah, Etsy never said that. They just said that they were going to help us identify how our shop quality impacts our visibility. So there's no visible score for our listings. They just show us factors that could be negatively impacting our listings in search.
I have a product I want to make customizable, but I have, you basically just asked the same question. I have more variations than Etsy allows you to build in. What would you recommend I do? Should I make more listings? Again, it's very difficult product by product basis for that kind of thing. Is the Bootcamp also great for digital product sellers?
There will be some challenging aspects. So you guys are still getting all the Canva templates. I added a couple more, but I decided all the Canva templates from last year, we're going to go ahead and include all that stuff this year. I've got a couple digital Canva templates. It really just depends on what you're selling, because there is going to be a big aspect in day 1 and day 6 about social media marketing. I'm going to be covering marketing psychology in a very abstract way. But then I'm going to be giving you guys resources to market your products, including all the Canva templates from last year with a couple extra ones. The marketing calendar, I've actually made it easier this year to follow. So if it really just depends. If you're doing things like printable wall art, that's going to be easier because that results in a physical product. Is it 100% a digital item that is impossible to market on social media? Or is it a digital product that they're printing themselves, like a worksheet for children? That you can print that and have a physical item to photograph or, utilize a mock-up for and market it. Wall art, again, you can print one out yourself or create a mock-up. And I've got mock-ups for wall art, and I added a bunch of wall art mock-ups this year to the program because I didn't have enough of them last year. So it really just depends. But check out the Bootcamp page over at bootcampalpha.com, and you can see all of the topics that we will be covering at the Bootcamp this year. I'm only speaking one day of the Bootcamp, though there are a couple bonuses in there.
I'm limited on time and wondering if my time is better spent trying to boost listings that aren't selling or coming up with new designs and hoping they do better. Got to pick whichever one you think, man. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to figure out which would do better for you.
Yeah. That's a hard one. Here's the thing. If you don't have a perfect recipe for cookies, it might be better to work on perfecting your recipe before you try to continue baking more and more cookies, because ultimately what you end up with is a bunch of cookies nobody wants. What I would recommend doing, honestly, is spend a little bit of time with the listings that aren't selling, but I wouldn't spend an infinite amount of time. I would work on those listings little by little, maybe choose one listing per week to try to improve. I've got a video on my channel from January. I can't remember what the actual video title is, but the thumbnail says "Make Stubborn Listings Sell." That is a checklist that I go through when analyzing a listing to determine how I want to fix that listing in the exact order of things that I test in order to determine what might potentially be wrong with it, with SEO being the very last thing that I touch. I would recommend going and checking out that video, selecting one of your listings, experimenting with that listing and keeping an eye on it for a week, and then spend some time maybe trying to work on some new products. That way you're able to do both, but you're also optimizing your time.
You better have good intent on that commune. Only the best. Only the best intent. Oversized t-shirts and foam boot Yeezys are the dress attire.
Yeah. Are we just now to that part?
Yes. Sweetheart, if you haven't noticed, that's how all of our chats go. We usually have more left than what we get through. We're that big now. It feels good. I heard some coaches are charging $1,000 for their courses, which is crazy. You know, that's kind of crazy because we charge $1,000 for our course, which you could consider crazy unless you consider that depending on the course, if you want to talk about our course, there's over just the regular paid content, not including the bonuses. There's over 16 hours of content, which takes an immense amount of research and development, upkeep, working with customers hand on hand when they have issues, and literally thousands of dollars in added content from other coages and people in the industry.
Not to mention, I provide support to my students forever. So every year it just gets harder on me because they all get the same amount of support and they get it forever. And my students get the boot camp every year for free. So the boot camp that we're charging for right now, students get that for free every year. They get 12 months of eRank Pro. That's $120 a year that we cover. They get a ton of resources from other coaches who, you know, I've given them stuff. They also get free email automations from MailChimp that MailChimp doesn't give to anybody, but I've got a secret link from MailChimp that I'm able to offer to my people. You guys get a whole lot. So I hope that people don't
and we've had people take our course for $1,000 that took other people's that were $8,000 to $15,000 and got significantly more from us than just that. So don't automatically associate prices with with immediate value, because for one, we haven't increased our price once ever. We actually just had somebody email about that because they wanted to continue their payments. They had to stop like 5 years ago, and they're like, I'm sure you charge more. And I was like, no, we don't artificially inflate our prices like that. You get a lot more than $1,000 value from our course if you actually put your work into it.
And we take care of you guys. I mean, right now I'm working on the boot camp, so I'm a little behind on emails.
Our course doesn't open until December anyway, so it doesn't matter. How about a cruise? I'm never getting on a cruise.
No.
If you actually look up the hygienics of it's disgusting. Cruises are disgusting. It doesn't matter how much money you're spending on it; they're gross.
I don't want to be on a boat with people. No. I don't want to be on a boat, period. But I definitely don't want to be on a boat with people.
No, I'm not into I'm not a swinger. I don't need to take a cruise.
I don't want to be in a group. I don't think that's what's happened on Disney Cruise Line, Mr. Moore.
Anybody want to correct her on that?
On Disney Cruise Line?
I've had friends take Disney cruises. That's absolutely what happens. You know them old couples without kids that get on the Disney cruise? They're not there for the Disney cruise. They're there for the Mickey special.
Oh no. Okay, keep answering questions.
This stream has gone off the rails so much.
465 people even still here. We love you guys.
I'm sorry you guys have to deal with me, but I'm here until I die, which at least a couple more months.
Oh, shut up. I love you.
Dude, stuff that sucker full would be a great recommendation to take out of context. It's also a great way to live your life. I sell soaps, weights dependent, vary what size.
So calculated shipping. Exactly. Yeah. Soap, candles. Yeah. Heavy stuff.
I feel like Etsy's trying to compete with Amazon. And, you know, I would agree with you, though they explicitly state many, many, many times that is not what they're trying to do.
We're handmade.
Because they're fully aware that they can't compete with Amazon. There's just no way.
Why would they want to? They've got a good thing going for them. It's like why is it? Here's my little rant real quick while he looks for a question.
I already got one, but okay, that's fine.
Why do big companies who are doing awesome sabotage themselves? Why? Mark and I have been studying all these companies that have a good thing going and they've got good growth and they're on, the fast track to success. And they're like, but wait, what if we treated everyone like crap? And we raised all of our prices, or I don't understand it. I don't understand why businesses sabotage themselves, and Etsy's doing it. Why are they doing it?
No, correct you there. Their shareholders are doing it.
That's true. That's true.
Don't go public. If you own a company, don't go public. Yeah, you're going to make a couple of $1 billion off the bat, except everyone that is underneath you and relies on your company within 5 years is going to hate you. like vehemently, they're gonna hate you. Unless you're the 5-hour energy guy, and then they're all gonna love you because he lives like a cool life. I don't know that he did. I'll be corrected. He was probably like Epstein's pilot or something.
Yeah, there's always something.
There's always something.
Based on our knowledge, he seems like a great guy. He's got like, he does like a camp for like kids to learn science
No,
stuff.
he has a school. He has an engineering school where you have to apply with your idea, and then you get funded on your idea and get to work on it at his facility.
And he lives in like a 2-bedroom like little house.
He drives like a 96 Honda Civic or something. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Anyway.
What's the trademark class for ceramic ornaments? I don't know. I'm not Google.
Oh yeah, I have no idea.
Google it. It's free.
Yeah, that's a Google question.
Ooh, another political ad.
Really?
I found an article, that we've had literally both sides of the spectrum on this video alone. People are talking about. I found a thing that should allow me to switch that off. Again, we don't endorse either political party. They're both trash. Both of the candidates are trash. We're not endorsing anyone.
We are nothing.
We don't get to choose what ads play over our videos, but I did just find out we might have the ability to turn off specific ads. We don't. I could make it a religious thing.
Mark fought for his country. Like that's testament enough.
I am for whoever is a true patriot, and no one running for president right now is. So calculated shipping makes shipping almost the same price of the item and isn't the price I get because first class is more money than ground advantage. Yeah, I know they're still using first class. I
know when
there we go.
When all the little reactions come up that's when they've gotten to that part of the stream.
Yup. Critical thinking is not a it's a taught skill, and unfortunately a lot of people don't have it, and because of that we don't let you know our political opinions specifically because for one it's irrelevant here. So we're just going to cut that there, leave it how it is.
Yep.
I sell digitals. I have 2 different types in my shop, meal planners and PDG, PNGs, and SVGs. I'm at 210 sales, but I've been told to ditch one and keep the other, so the shop is one niche. Help.
Meal planners.
And what is PDG?
PDG. Okay, well, I'm just assuming digital like files.
Yeah, I don't know what PDG is, unfortunately.
Here's the thing. When you're selling on Etsy, are you happy with your sales right now? That's my question to you, because there's two things that I would consider. First of all, the target audience for these products is probably very different because the meal planners, those are going to be different from people who are likely utilizing your digital files in order to probably make products for themselves and possibly sell if you license them out for people to use them for their products to sell. These are very different target audiences. Are you selling a lot of each of these products, or are you selling more of one type than the other? If you are making bank right now, you don't need to change anything. But if you feel like you could be doing better, yeah, there's a lot of, Etsy's algorithm values consistency. They like to see consistency, throughout your keywords to identify what it is that you specialize in. You could be sending mixed messages there to Etsy's algorithm about what your shop is all about. You would definitely be sending some mixed messages to the customers who click on your shop. Again, if this is what pays your bills, though, and you're getting significant sales in both of these niches, then I would be very, very careful making a big change like that. But if you're not making that many sales, or if you're making more sales of the meal planners and not as many of the digital files, then maybe I would consider splitting them up. If you're not making any sales, or you're not making, enough sales to really care, then I would definitely split them up, because those target audiences are very different. This is why Printify is flying me to Latvia. They're flying me so that I can talk about niches, because niches are so important for businesses.
How are we supposed to see the views boost in stats? Check the traffic from Etsy, excluding ads.
The views boost in stats. You can, well, I use eRank to check my daily views. In fact, I like to go in and select a couple listings that I'm going to keep an eye on, and I pop them into the track changes tool, and then I monitor them with the track changes tool so that I can see how the views, favorites, and sales are impacted, especially after I make a change. You can check your traffic from Etsy if you want. I prefer using eRank because it puts them all in a nice orderly list for me. Yes, and mind you, the shipping in the US went up again.
It will always continue to get up.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's how inflation works. It doesn't go the other way. Though we could get into a whole discussion about how most of it's artificial now. We're not going to do that today. I think she apologized. Etsy boosts new shops most, but it also boosts new listings a bit. Right?
Backwards.
Etsy
doesn't boost new shops. That is something that some YouTubers started saying, and it is completely untrue. It's also why a bunch of YouTubers are starting to say, oh, if you don't make, any sales in the first month of having your Etsy shop, close that shop down and start a new one. New shops do not get a boost. All new listings get a boost. You could have a shop that you made 10 years ago and never listed anything, and then start listing new items in that, and Etsy will treat those new listings, just the same. It will boost them. There is no benefit to a new shop or, starting over with a new shop. All new listings get a slight boost in search because during that slight boost, Etsy is trying to determine what the listing is, who they should show it to, and, what personalization factors are following, shoppers that might, best fit with what your product is. And during that period of 60 to 90 days, Etsy's really trying to figure out, what your item is. But, every shopper has their own personalized kind of profile that Etsy builds about them based on their habits on the platform, what they click on, what they favorite, what they buy, what they're interested in. And, Etsy wants to take your listing and match it to the person that's most likely to buy it, which is why all of our search pages are different, because we each have a personalized curated search page for us. So Etsy's basically just trying to decide which of all these personalized different types of people, who is the best person to show your item to. So that's why they boost all new listings, but it's not a new shop thing.
Gabby, you can tag somebody just using the @ symbol. If we have a license to sell a trademark or copyright item, would we incorporate this information into our shop or item information? I would put it pretty front and center in the description.
Well, most of the time when you receive a license, you will get specific requirements. Yeah. If you have not been given any by your licensor,
you could request it.
Yeah, you need to ask them if there's anything that you need to put in your listings. For example, for ours, we have to put our licensing agreement in the bottom for certain authors. I like to put officially licensed in my title just so people who are shopping know it's not helping my keywords at all. But I like to be front and center about it because I'm proud of it. I'm proud that we're officially licensed. And, if somebody knows that their purchase is going to result in some of that money going to their favorite author, which in this case, we do pay out commissions to Sarah Moss and Jennifer Armitrout and Chloe Penaranda and all the other authors we're licensed by. Maybe that will help our overall perception in the eyes of customers. So I would just ask whoever you're licensed by if it's something that you need to have in your listings.
Gabby, no, you should just be able to type @ and then the first couple of letters and it gives you a recommendation. If it's not working, it might be the browser or device that you're on.
Yeah.
I just adjusted a listing and I didn't see any increase in traffic, or after I just adjusted a listing. So I did a renew. Does that trick still work?
Well, it's not really a trick. Basically what you're doing is it can take Etsy a little bit of time when you've made changes. We're assuming that it's going to be kind of similar to how Google indexes products. And, over at eRank, our common consensus is that if you have made major changes to your SEO specifically, that paying that 20 cents renewal will basically give that listing a little bit of a jolt, because Etsy is going to begin analyzing that listing immediately because it's brand new, and hopefully more quickly acknowledge those changes that you've made so that they can start better matching you for the new keywords that you've put into those listings. This is just kind of how algorithms work, and these are our speculations based on how algorithms typically work. So yes. Does this work? As far as we know, it's the practice that I currently do. It can't hurt. Did you say that you haven't noticed any increase in traffic. Oh, you adjusted the listing and didn't see any increase in traffic. So just keep an eye on it. You know, this is one of those cases where I would just keep a close eye on your stats and try to see if, you know, if that renewal did help at all. And this is where that track changes tool over at eRank really comes in handy. Because if you track your listing, I like to track my listing for at least a week before I make any changes, so I have some baseline data to go off of. You can't do comparative data if you don't have baseline data, right? You have to have something to compare to. So I'll track it for 7 days, make a change to like my SEO, and then I will compare and see how my views, favorites, and sales have changed based on those changes that I've made. We're going to actually cover eRank next week during the Friday Bean, and I can show you guys some examples of how the track changes tool works.
Pumpkin spice or peppermint mocha? I love them both. It depends on the season. Peppermint mocha is a Christmas smell.
Yep.
Pumpkin spice is a fall smell.
Yep. I usually get sick of pumpkin, you know, by
Pretty
November.
quick.
Yeah, November, I'm ready for peppermint. Starla, I found your doppelganger.
Who's that?
Lady Mary Crawley from
Lady Mary Crawley. I don't know who that is.
from Downtown Abbey.
Okay.
Does anybody agree with that?
Would you suggest going forward to have free shipping on smaller items like ornaments?
Sure, try it. Experiment with it. You know, it's all about customer perceptions, right? If your type of item, you know, maybe it's a sticker, maybe customers are accustomed to paying shipping, and by adding that shipping price to your listings, they see that overall cost and they're turned off by it. But if it's something like jewelry, maybe they don't care if it's incorporated in. It really is dependent on your product and how customers, you know, what their anchor price is for that type of item. We talk about anchor prices in a lot of my videos, but not so much here on the Friday Bean. Your anchor price is the reference point that you typically attach to a specific type of item. So if I showed you this pen and I asked you how much this pen would cost, you guys would probably give me a price from anywhere from like $1 to maybe even like $5 on the high end for a really nice pen, right? But if I told you that this pen cost $25, you guys would want to know why the heck, what would justify that price point, right? It's because you have an anchor in mind for how much a pen costs. We have an anchor in mind for how much gasoline currently costs. We have an anchor in mind for how much a loaf of bread costs. And it's why when a price increases, we immediately take notice and we're like, oh, that is just ridiculous. It's because we have an anchor. So I would make sure that you identify what the anchor is for your type of product. And if adding the shipping into your overall cost is, you know, going to completely reset that anchor, especially comparatively to other listings on a search page that might have much, you know, lower prices that are setting the standard, someone might try to figure out or, you know, want you to justify why you would charge so much for that item. And at that point, you know, for some products, that's where we need to make sure that we're validating our product by incorporating photos into our listings that validate the price. So if, you know, if you're a handmade t-shirt print shop and you are printing every shirt by hand, you might want to validate why your shirts are more expensive than a POD company shirts by showing pictures in your listings of you pressing, you know, a shirt or a video of you pressing the shirt so that they know why they're paying a little bit more.
How about updating the discount sales? Could it affect the listing?
No.
Excuse me.
The things that affect your visibility or your actual like SEO, you know, visibility and search right now are obviously your shipping price under $6. That'll take effect in October. But aside from that, most important is your title and tags. Those are the most important. Descriptions, not for query matching, not for the keyword matching phase, but Etsy utilizes it more to match customers who have a specific style or who are looking for a specific type of product based on their user preferences. So if your product is kind of gothic in nature, it might be useful to you to use the term gothic somewhere in your description organically, because if Etsy knows that this customer tends to buy gothic themed items, they might more easily match that product. And then your attributes. So all those little drop down menus that you fill out when you're creating your listing, you know, what's the style, what's the color, you know, you're filling out all these little drop downs, what's the occasion, those also impact your rank and search.
bougie pen. Are you talking about this? It's a laser. It's a laser
I'm
pointer.
assuming it's this pen, the $50 pen that or 95, 25. I can't remember what I said.
It was like $50 for the pack, but it was like 30 pens.
$50 for a pack of 30 pens? That's a lot of money.
Bro, these are specialty, like...
Okay. Bougie pens.
Yes, I'm bougie. Get over it. What's the main thing to focus on to get your first sale? I feel like I'm spreading myself very thin trying to do SEO and socials. It's a combo, bro. It's everything.
So when it comes to success on Etsy, there are very little factors that are more important than other factors. Because everything, it's like a machine with a bunch of gears. You could say which gear is the most important. But even if I went into that machine and removed the tiniest gear, that could mess up the entire machine and no longer, the gears would no longer turn. It's like saying which leg is the most important to hold up the dining room table. They're all important to hold up the dining room table. But the most important factor is your photos, hands down. If you could have fantastic SEO, but if your photos are bad, your product isn't going to sell. Everything about your listing could be perfect, but if your photos are bad, your product isn't going to sell. A bad photo of a good product equals a bad product in the eyes of your customer. So the most important thing is your photos. After that, factors like, making sure that you have demand. Obviously, you've got to have demand for your products. That's important. So making sure you're doing target customer research, target market research, making sure you're identifying what the anchor is, or, pricing in that top 10% of your industry. That's all very important, because you can't price way too high. You also can't price way too low, because then people might perceive your products as being crappy because you're like trying to price like your Temu, which, that to me tells me that your product probably isn't very good. And then SEO, that's extremely important for catching people who are actively searching on Etsy. You're in a shopping mall and, you've got to be able to tell people where your store is. So that SEO, it serves as road signs that are going to direct people, into your shop. But external marketing, that's important too, because there are times a year when people aren't shopping on Etsy. So making sure that you're driving a little bit of your traffic, that's just doubling up your traffic. I would start on Etsy though. Start on the factors that are on Etsy. Start with your photo, start with your SEO, start on Etsy, and then work your way out, because ultimately once you move on to marketing externally on platforms like Instagram, for example, which is my favorite for marketing, you're going to have to learn their algorithm. You're going to have to learn, what their algorithm likes, how you're going to connect with customers there, how you're going to get leads, what type of photos perform well. You're going to have a whole different set of analytics to study. You're going to have to understand what keywords in your captions are going to potentially help your reels, for example, get more exposure. You're going to have to learn how to do reels. Then you're going to have to decide for yourself, which types of reels are doing well and what hooks are working for you. And, do edited videos work better than non-edited? Are you using trending audio? Start on Etsy, because that is your home base. External marketing sources are something that can come later.
I see people talking about the Canva Pro, or the Canva price increases, and you guys are talking about how it's going up 300%. You guys need to actually open the articles that are talking about that, because it is specifically for Canva teams. We've not for Canva Pro. I have had to turn off the comments on 2 posts on that because it is not accurate.
Yes, it is only for teams. If you have
if you have an article that states that the regular one is going up, feel free to email it to me and we'll address that as it goes. But everything that I've seen has been for Canva teams specifically, which won't affect 99.9% of you.
Yeah. If you don't have anybody else working within your organization, and if you do, then just, I mean, if it's like a friend or somebody, just give them your username and password and share a login, and then you'll be fine.
Right. Except we don't advocate for doing that because it's theft.
Well, I'm saying, like, if it's somebody in your household that you trust.
It's different. If it's somebody that works with your business, it's fine.
Right.
Have you received any updates about Go Imagine? It seemed to be trending in Etsy, YouTube, and podcasts a few months ago, but not much after that. Just curious.
Yeah, I just talked to John yesterday. John is trying to figure out what it's going to take to expand to Canada. That's his next step. So that's what we talked about. I can't really get into the specifics because I don't know what I'm allowed to say, But remember, we had talked about him potentially moving and trying to get some stuff in Canada rolling. That's where he's at right now. It's the research, trying to decide if he needs to, have French options. He's just got to figure out the laws and legalities of expansion. So yeah, they're still, John is live in the Maker Circle app every Wednesday. So, you guys can download that app for free, even if you're not a Go Imagine user, and chat with John. He's super cool. He's always willing to chat.
A couple of people saying that the new rate would be $14.99. Again, I haven't seen that. Please, if you have an article, seriously send it to me so I can see it. I recently started another Etsy making handmade tote bags. I'm going for witchy goth punk vibe, but when I go out for tags on the listing, I go blank aside from basics. Any suggestions? Don't just think about the product specifically that you are creating. Think about the audience that it's for. Think about the person that is using it. Think about
where they're taking it,
where they're taking it, what they're doing with it, why they're doing it. Think a little bit more outside of the product specifically, and it usually will pop right into your head.
Yeah, like where Mark and I were, oh man, we should pull up some of my daughter now has all my trip pants, but we were the little goth kids. And I would say that, I carried my tote bags to school. I carried them maybe to, concerts, festivals, music festivals, to the library. Halloween, they might make good Halloween, themed bags. There's a lot of different ways that you could categorize those, but think really hard about your target customer, because there's only so many ways that you can say that you're selling a tote bag.
Okay, so they said, so with mine, I went to cancel my Canva, and they told me if I cancel, the new rate will be $14.99. I pay $12.99.
So maybe you were grandfathered into a old price?
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like maybe they are raising it to $14.99, but I mean, realistically, that's not a 300% increase, so that's still not that big of a deal. $15 a month is still pretty fair, I think.
Yeah, I pay $120 a year, that's what I've always paid.
That would be $15.
That's what I've always paid, $15. Yeah, that's what I've always paid. So it used to be $12.99. Okay, but that would have been a while ago, because I've always paid $120, and I've been paying for a while.
Okay.
Well, that's still not up. What did they say? 500% or something like that?
300%.
300%.
That is what the team's rate is going up by.
Yeah, the team's rate.
Which is a little excessive, I will agree. I don't have a problem with them doing it, because I'm sure people are like severely abusing that system, just like any benefit system like that. But 300% is a bit spicy.
I don't like the keyword rusty travel bag. Something about that sounds icky, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but I don't want to, because it sounds
dirty
gross.
Talk in the stream.
Sounds yucky. My rusty travel bag.
If you want to give one last spiel, we're kind of pretty much at the end here.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. The boot camp, you've got 2 days. You got 2 days to get in for $100. On Sunday, that's the last day to register, and the price is going up because everything extra from the price increase goes to St. Jude, and then Mark and I match those donations. I also do want to mention, Mandy is such a sweetheart. Mandy, because all of the speakers are making an affiliate cut on the boot camp. We're going to be paying them affiliate commissions, but Mandy has actually requested to donate all of her money to St. Jude. She is so sweet. And Mark and I are also going to match donations and probably match Mandy's donation as well. So we'll keep you guys updated. We'll probably make the donation live when we switch our Friday Bean charity over to St. Jude, which we will be doing probably next week. But anyway, consider checking that out today and tomorrow. It's $100. Sunday is the last day to register. It's $120 on Sunday. We're donating those $20 increments. A lot of people wait until Sunday to join just so their $20 can go to St. Jude. So that's up to you if you guys want to. But that will be starting this upcoming Monday. The boot camp will. Doors for registration will be closed. The boot camp kicks off on Monday, September 9th. Yep. Every single day, there will be a new speaker and new content. I am kicking it off with day one. You guys are going to learn marketing psychology from me. We're doing a deep dive, even deeper than what I teach in Handmade Alpha Academy. So HAA students, you guys are going to absolutely love it, because I know that you guys absolutely love the psychology aspect of HAA, but we're really getting into, it's a short video. It's only about 20 minutes, but I'm really challenging you guys to look into marketing, and not just your own marketing, but to begin observing marketing marketing through a scientific lens. Because the more that you start practicing observation of ads, which is something that Mark and I do every single day, we observe every ad with a scientific
I don't have a
perspective.
choice. I have ADHD.
Right. We analyze every ad that we see. And I want to teach you guys those skills, because the more that you do it, the easier it comes for you guys to begin incorporating it into your own marketing. And then I'm providing you with hundreds of Canva templates that you can use for mock-ups, or you can just subtract the background from your product photos and incorporate them into scenes. We've got Halloween ones, we've got Christmas ones, we've got some just general fall themed ones. We've got Black Friday themed ones. We've got a couple New Year's themed ones. We've got Instagram stories templates. I've got marketing sales copy for you guys. I have different Instagram post prompt ideas. There's posts, reels, and story ideas that you can use. And you get a marketing calendar to follow. And that's just day one. So for those of you who've done past boot camps, it's all the same stuff that you got last year, plus a couple extras, a brand new calendar to follow, and then you get all new speakers. Christina Nicole, all of her videos that were in last year's boot camp, we have decided to include this year, and she's including 3 new videos about product photography conversion. So helping your actual photos or your products to convert based on those photos. So you're getting everything from last year with Christina and new stuff. Then you're going to be learning from, let's see, who's next? Hannah Gardner. She's another really big YouTuber. She is going to be teaching you how to take your listings that are doing so-so, or not selling, and basically revive them so that you can relaunch them at the algorithm and try to help them boost higher in search. Then after that, we've got Dave from the YouTube channel Add to Cart. He does a talking head session about Etsy ads. He is a huge handmade jewelry seller, and he goes over like the ins and outs of his experience with Etsy ads. He also, he's a private coach as well. He does more private coaching with people. And he kind of talks about the strategies that he has used to help, the sellers that he coaches, different case studies and things, get their ads to be successful, which is awesome because I really don't know a whole lot about like really, really specific number crunching when it comes to Etsy ads. After that, Mandy from Simply POD with Mandy. She's going to be teaching you guys how, if you hate social media, how to work with micro influencers to get more traffic to your listings, and how to work with local news and media to get more traffic to your listing. So I haven't even had a chance to watch hers yet, and I'm so excited to watch it because I want to know this stuff. I'm also throwing in on that day our press releases. So this is a video from our very first boot camp. We've included it every year. I've decided to include it this year as well. How to get publicity from major news and media by doing press releases. And that's how you get all those little logos that say like as seen in CBS, ABC, Fox News, Yahoo Finance, like all of those little logos. I teach you how to do that. And Michelle, my virtual assistant, is going to be offering $35 press release writing services if you would like to hire her for that. So that's a bootcamp exclusive that you can take advantage of. Then on the last speaker day, that's going to be Angel from Passive Income Angel. She has a really quick and snappy session about quick and snappy session. It's about 11 minutes long about TikTok marketing. And it is just like bam, bam, bam. She covers viral TikTok strategies. She analyzes a couple viral TikToks and gives you some ideas on, things to test out with your TikToks. And then because her session was relatively short, I decided to throw in the 30-minute session that Mark and I did last year, where we're actually out front in our front yard teaching you how to record different TikTok or Instagram reel transitions. So different, like how you can make it like look super cool when you like do different transitions where it skips from one scene to another. And they're super easy to replicate, and you can do it all completely free. You don't have to have any tech skills to do it. I give you a ton of ideas on how you can actually record your own. So you're getting all those. Then on day 7, you get a live stream with Mark and I. It's a private live stream, just like this with the live chat and everything. And I'm thinking I'm going to do part of it. I want to answer questions, but I might end up trying to do a little bit of SEO stuff if I don't have enough questions, just because I realized after the fact, like, we didn't cover SEO. The reason we didn't cover SEO is because I have my free Etsy SEO Oodles toolbox, and that literally covers everything you need to know about Etsy SEO. But if you guys end up wanting more or, you know, some visual examples, we can do that too. But anyway, if all that sounds good to you, make sure you go to bootcampalpha.com and check it out.
That took 8 minutes.
I wanted to cover everything that's included.
8 whole minutes of my life I can't get back.
I love you guys.
Oh, we love you guys. I wasn't hungry until someone with the name Fresh Lumpia came in. Anybody else have that coworker that would just, like, not even ask, bring in a 40-pound total lumpia that they made last night? I had 2 people in the military that did that like once a month, and it was the best thing ever.
Yep.
Now I'm hungry. Thanks. We gotta go. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys later.
Bye-bye. See you in the boot camp.
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 See you in the boot camp.